Today's lesson we're looking at basic drawing techniques. Our learning objectives today is to learn how to draw a cube using a range of different techniques. So we've got 1 point perspective, 2 point, isometric, oblique, and then also have a go at applying textures and tones to your cubes. So what I'd like you to do, if you set your pages out like this, so you need something for 1 point, 2 point, you can get isometric paper offline if you print that off. We've got oblique, and then also if you want to draw some cubes that you want to have a go at shading, and then also have a go at applying some textures and tones. First one I'm going to talk you through is 1 point perspective. So what you need to do to start with is put on one of your vanishing points. So this is normally put in the corner of your page, and then what you do is you draw your shape in which you want to project into 3D. So we're going to do a cube. So I've got my square, making sure we're all at right angles. And what we do then is we project each corner to the vanishing point. So each corner should be matching up and it should be following to the centre of that cross. Then what you do is you put in your lines that should be parallel to your square. Then you've got your cube set up. Now I see a lot of people putting them in slanted and not perpendicular and parallel to the square. That's when it looks off centre and not correct. Once you've done that, you can rub any of these construction lines out, and then you've got your 1 point perspective cube. 2 points probably the most difficult. The difference is instead of 1 point, we've got 2. So what you need to do, around about 2/3 of the way down your page, draw a line. And then we're going to project each corner of the line to each 2 sides of the vanishing points. Then depending on your size, you can make your lines come further out, or this one more narrower if you wanted a cuboid, depending on what you want. We're going to make ours pretty even on each side, and then what we are going to do is we're going to take the left line to the right cross and the right line to the left cross. And then you've got your 2 point perspective cube drawing, and you can rub all these construction lines out after. If you was drawing a house, and let's say you're putting a window in on this side, something that you don't do is just draw it as a normal square. It doesn't look right and it's not following these vanishing lines. Anything you draw on it now needs to be following the correct type of line. So you can see that that looks a lot better than the one in the red. Isometric. So a lot of people do this by just drawing a square. You have to make sure you follow the grid. So if you start off, we're going to use 4 sections for each line. So we've got as top, as bottom, and the side. So we've got as first face of our cube. From there, we can replicate the rest of that. So that's as top, and then that's the side, and we've got our isometric cube. Oblique is essentially where you draw your shape and then you project your lines off using a ruler, and then you would match them up just like this. And you'd also make sure that these are all the same angle to make it look correct. Now shading, I've got you some different shading activities to do. So we've got hatching, which is essentially lines across, cross hatching, where you're going one way then the other, blending, you're blending that pencil in, and then stippling. So I would like you to have a go at this yourself. I've done a couple. So for hatching, I've done the top part, and then also the front. So you can see that because the lines are further apart, it doesn't look as shaded as when the lines are closer. And for cross hatching, basically all you do is you do your lines one way, and then you have a go at putting them in the opposite way. Thinking about where your light's reflecting, so I want you to copy these images. Obviously the light's coming from this way, so these will be your darkest sides. So have a go at finishing them off, and then we're going to move on to textures and tones. So with textures and tones, we've got some different materials. So this is produced for OCR, so if you are manufacturing or drawing something in metal, you want it to look like a metal. So really thinking about how the light reflects. So you could do that probably with a pencil. And for your wood, making sure that you've got your grain in and you're working in your colours to make it represent that. You might have some knots in the wood. And then finally, glass is just about using shading in order to make it look like it's reflecting from your page. So that there is the basic outline of some drawing techniques that you can use in order to get your drawing started off.